All right. So today we are chatting with one of Meredith's past clients, a busy real estate broker associate who made her health a priority despite a demanding schedule. So thank you for being here, Carol. I am so excited to talk with you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, as a real estate agent, your schedule is nonstop. What made you decide to work with Fibra nutritionist Meredith?
Well, there were a couple of reasons, and really my schedule didn't have too much to do with it. Meredith is a coach out here. She does exercise classes where I live locally, and so I've been doing exercise classes with her, and she's just very personable, very conscious of. Making sure that you're doing things according to your personal goals and making sure you're doing them correctly. The other reason why is, and this is kind of funny, I had a trip planned with my daughter. We were going to Scotland, and as I was trying on all my jeans, and I was fed up. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm not doing this anymore. So when I came back from that trip, I was determined to lose weight. And honestly, I've never had a problem doing with my weight. I've just had a high metabolism all my life. So this was really the first time that I've had to tackle this, and I know at my age, as we get older, that does become more of an issue. So I went to Meredith and asked to start this program with her.
Amazing, amazing. I love Meredith as well. Obviously, she's one of my nutritionists, and she is just so passionate about helping all of her clients. And you're right, just making sure that they're doing it in a healthy, positive,
Hmm.
and effective and efficient way for each individual person. So, how
Right.
much weight did you lose working with Fibra?
I lost about 23 pounds, and people were really noticing it on me. They were like, Carol, you're getting so skinny, stop it, and because like I said, I've never had a problem with my weight, but I did lose 23 pounds, and it was really very easy. And I do want to say also that at the very beginning of the program, when I met with Meredith and she said, it's going to be a couple of hours, I'm going to go through some questions, and I was so impressed with how detailed and scientific and wanting to know my health issues, because I do have some health issues, and being very concerned and focused on the medications that I take and how that's going to affect any foods or anything like that. So I was very impressed. It's not just a diet plan. It's more than that. And the time that she took to really personalize my plan towards me and the foods that I like, which I pretty much like everything, but that made a huge difference. And quite frankly, it was very easy to follow. And I am a kind of person that if you give me instructions and okay, this is what you're going to do, I follow it to a T. And I am not a cook. I can cook, but I just don't. And to have some getting into the habit of planning those meals where is a little harder again with my work that I do, but being able to do that and having things and knowing what I'm going to eat that day was so helpful and really easy to follow.
Yeah, I love the fact that you threw, your experience, your personal experience in there, because that was actually going to be the next question. But that's really what FIPRA is all about. This isn't a one size fits all program. This is something that I've developed over the past 12 years. And in the beginning, it was, all based off of like books and research, and then it's just kind of bloomed and developed because I saw what actually worked. And
Hmm.
then being able to tweak it for each individual person is to have it be more effective for them. Once that kind of clicked and we were able to custom and fine tune it for each individual client, it just, it really took off, from there as
Mm-hmm.
far as the results that our clients were seeing. And Meredith is one of my smartest and most dedicated nutritionist for sure. She is very, very always researching, always, bringing
Mm-hmm.
things to me as far as, hey, what do you think about this? Could this work? And so,
Right.
we're always, always expanding our knowledge base and changing a program where we see it's needed and fit. So
Mm-hmm.
what surprised you most about the process?
I have never eaten more food in my life. That was such a surprise. And I've told people that. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to eat, my breakfast. Okay, I wasn't a big breakfast eater, but I'd eat a breakfast. And then like 2 hours later or so, I'd have a high protein snack. And then I'd have lunch. And then I'd have another high protein snack. And a lot of times when I was checking in with Meredith, I would tell her, I just can't get all this in. And she says, you have to get all the food in to make it work. And the water. The other thing of drinking that much water, that intimidated me at first. But after you are drinking that much water, my body was craving it. And so it wasn't as hard to get the water in. But just carrying I still do carry my big old, thing with me every day. And I know I have to have three of these. Um, but those are the two things that really surprised me was how much food I was eating and losing weight. I immediately started to see results. So that was really cool.
Yeah, I think that really surprises a lot of people is how much food they actually do eat on the program. And
Hmm.
each program is different. There are some people that are working with us that probably are eating a lot more food than you did. Um, and the other thing that really surprises a lot of people is their results from prep. Um, a
Hmm.
lot of people just didn't realize, that that was possible, within a 5 day span.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, yes. Yeah.
so did you get any sort of other impact, in your life beyond weight loss?
The weight loss was definitely one of them. I have some heart issues, and actually, right after I lost the weight, I went to my doctor for the regular checkup and everything. I have a high blood pressure and some heart issues and some other things that. Cholesterol and stuff like that. And some of my medications have gone down. I'm not totally off of everything, but they have gone down and just regular exercising as well with Meredith and walking
Okay.
in between have really helped. I've I I wouldn't say that my energy increased because I don't know anyone who has more energy than me. In fact, I went through cancer and people were saying that when I was on chemo, my energy level was at normal. So, but anyhow, but definitely the medications, I did see some improvement in that. So, yeah.
Awesome. And sometimes we never see those medications go away, but just being able to get on a lower dose is a huge win.
And my
Um,
doctor was very happy with, I explained to him what I was doing and how I was losing the weight, and he was on board 100%. So that was great.
yes, yes, it's always nice to get the doctor's stamp of approval. Um,
Hmm.
would you recommend the FIPR program and working with Meredith?
I absolutely would, and I have recommended it. I've told people about it because they will ask me, "Oh my gosh, Carol, are you losing weight?" Yes, I am. And I tell them all about it. And some people aren't ready to make that leap like I wasn't, until my jeans couldn't fit and I was like, okay, this is it. I'm done. Um, I guess people need to get to that point because you do have to have a certain amount of willpower to stick with it. But I think once you do start to shed some of the pounds, and again, you're eating so well and you feel so good, that is a motivator just to stay with it. But definitely, I've recommended some people to the program and to Meredith because she is. I mean, I don't really have anyone else to compare her to, but she was just so available and easy to tweak things that if something wasn't working or I was tired of the apple cider vinegar or something like that, then she was just so motivating and encouraging. So a good
Yeah,
cheerleader on a program like this. Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, um I agree. Like, there, especially when it comes to nutrition, you have to be in the right mindset and right,
Hmm.
headspace in order to truly take it seriously. Because, I'll let you in on a little secret. Every diet works as long as you do it. And that is the hard
Yeah.
part, is that you have to do it. Now, there are, some versions of diets and weight loss programs that are, a little healthier than others. But still, they all work. It's just what effort are, you going to put into it. And, if it's something that, and this is something that we've found, is that the ones that you can actually fit into your life and not the ones that take over
Hmm.
your life are the ones that work the best. But they all work, right?
Yeah.
But that's actually one of the reasons, just kind of that headspace is one of the reasons why Fibra
Yeah.
recently added GLP-1s and peptides to the services that we offer. It's because we
Hmm.
know not everybody is ready to take that next step for truly working and dialing in their nutrition. Granted, that is what is going to help them feel the best and get the best
Hmm.
results and long term results. But one of the reasons why we've recently added, those other elements to our program, is just to offer a couple of different other, couple of different options to those who
Yeah.
reach out to us. And even those that maybe aren't ready to make the full change, but still want to see change. Because no matter what, you have to put some effort into something. Um,
Right. Right. Exactly.
all right. And then last question. What would you say to someone who is on the fence about starting?
Let's see. Someone on the fence. If maybe think of a goal that you want, if it's a swimsuit you want to fit into, a wedding dress, or mother of the wedding dress, something that you really want to look forward to just think about that and just take the leap of faith and know that it's not a starvation. It's not a, I don't even say it's a depriving. I think it's a discovery. One thing that I also enjoyed doing at nighttime was, usually I'd have my little glass of wine. Well, instead, I would pour my protein drink in a martini glass. And I felt like I was having, this decadent little, nighttime martini. So you can kind of trick your brain into, stuff that is fun that you're not giving up. So that's what I would say is just envision yourself in that space and then take this plan to go there. And don't be afraid because it's really great. And once you start the bandwagon and it's going, it's really fun to see how those pounds start going down. You start feeling better. You start fitting in your clothes better, and people recognize it, and it's really great.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Carol. So
You're
you heard it
welcome.
from Carol herself. Give Fibra a try. Meredith is absolutely amazing, and she is currently taking on clients.